Good morning to you. Happy Friday. I hope you're well. You're listening to BBC Radio Leicester. Now, you may remember almost a month ago, we caught up with the lovely Pete Hurst, a musician from Leicestershire and the organiser of something very special, the Yellow Book. It's a yearly mental health book in which people enter with pieces of art, poetry and photos to make up a theme. And this year's theme is gratitude. People entering are being asked to also send a note of gratitude to go along with their submission. Well, last time I spoke with Pete, he was looking for people to send their submissions through, and he used this song that he recorded with primary schools and local artists for inspiration.
Noticing nature pass me by, and I smile, surrounded here by so much life.
Now memories flow with all the species that connected with my life. With a smile.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? Well, I'm very pleased to say that I'm joined by Pete in the studio this morning to find out more about the submissions he's received and how long you've got left to enter as well if you'd like to get involved. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Kelly. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I feel I'm being spoilt today with very inspirational guests doing great work helping other people. It's lovely to have you in, Pete.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you.
So, how is it going with the submissions so far?
Yes, great. So we're having submissions from all over the country, in fact, both in the poetry, in art and in photography. Some fantastic entries, people focusing perhaps on their animals, on places that they've been to, on things inside themselves of where they feel safe and where they feel supported. The poetry that's come in expressing all different forms of gratitude. And I think that's the wonderful thing is that we're all we're grateful from the space from where we're at and what's going on for us as well. And I think it's wonderful to hear some of the sort of more triumph over adversity and things. And I encourage people to go on and just have a if you click through, you can kind of read the whole list of them. You can go on and have a look at the gallery and click through, and it's quite inspiring and uplifting to go on and just see them every day as it comes in, and it's been nice because we've been open for a few weeks now, and it's just starting to gather some of the momentum, which is nice.
Yeah,
so
it is exciting times for people that might have missed our chat.
Yes.
On the show. Can you remind us all about the Yellow Book and the idea behind it?
Yes, of course. Now, the Yellow Book was born out of when I had some really challenging times on mental health when I was back in my 20s. I'm coming into my 40s now, and I spent a number of time on the mental health hospital wards. I had about 3 admissions, and I spent about 11 months on the wards. It was a very difficult time, and it was obviously really challenging for my family and my friends on the outside, really. I was eventually diagnosed with bipolar, and obviously I was being supported within the system and things. But what I was noticing when I came out of hospital was just at that time, back going back 20 years or so, that there was kind of a lack of support, and a lot of the focus was around the negativity, around the people's challenges, around illness and things like that. And the Yellow Book was really devised to try and shift the focus into a positive outlook, really. And so what it was all about was about trying to equip people with empowering tips and tools and techniques that were supporting not only myself, but a number of people that were working in the organisation that I started to work for. These tools were incredible, and when they were aligned with maybe the medication and things we were having, they were changing the lives of all of the people. And we were very keen to get these into people's hands because oftentimes our work, not necessarily disempowering in a sense, but disempowering in the sense that we're asking for help. We're looking externally for our help when there are, in fact, so many different tools and things that we can try ourselves. And so the idea was to get lots of tips and tools, little bite-sized bits of information all together. And we wrapped that in a resource that signposted people to all different national organisations, sort of charities and supports like the Samaritans and Childline, as well as lots of different organisations in there as well that most of you will have heard of. And then what we were asking people to do was to submit art, poetry and photography, all around the themes of the things that help them feel better, help them feel well. What was it that helped them to connect with themselves or to connect with life? And so it was fantastic, and it's ran for, it's been going for over 10 years now. We've not only have we created national projects like we are at the moment, where we ask people all over the country to submit, but we also create personalised books with many different organisations. So we go into an NHS trust. We've been into Leicestershire NHS, where we've created a book with them. We work with Leicester College and Peterborough College, where we've created audio resources with them and their students. We've gone into Desford Primary School. We work with Cygnet Healthcare. We've worked with prisons. We've gone into Leicestershire Prison. We've gone actually into lots of different areas, and I'm not going to remember everyone, which is a shame. But we're essentially, they create all their own personalised wellbeing resources, so that they can share them with the staff and maybe the pupils or the people that work within their organisations. And it's about equipping people with these empowering tools, signposting, but also equipping everybody with all this feel-good, uplifting kind of information. And as I was saying, people are where you're at is where people will submit from, so you can have some real triumph over adversity in some of the poetry and some of the art that's submitted. And so the books are just wrapped, they're just a plain yellow cover around the book, and it's really inviting. It's supposed to be really warm and inviting.
They're beautiful books. Pete's brought some into the studio this morning for me to look at, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They're beautifully illustrated as well. So much different information, like you were saying as well. And it's just everything. You've got gorgeous pictures designed from school children. You've got beautiful quotes from children as well about what makes them feel happy, which I absolutely love. And then there's different techniques in there as well, for well-being. There's just all sorts. I mean, everything. There's things about breathing we've got here, music. Goodness me, I mean, it's endless. What about, at the moment, some of your favourite maybe designs or things that have been submitted? Is there anything that stood out for you?
For me, it's I love my connection with the species of this planet that we have, and so for me, it's always things with animals and things that really tend to draw my attention. We've had a beautiful one of a lady that was on holiday and captured she said it was a holiday of a lifetime, and it captured two elephants locking trunks together in the wild kind. It looked absolutely incredible. And then obviously people that are submitting things about their pets and their cats and their dogs and different things like that. But we've had a lot of people expressing themselves through art and some people that have been through some really difficult times and saying how the art has really helped them to lift them through that, and kind of it gives them a great expression of how to move forward. And I think that our own creativity is something that is fairly incredible, really. And we've had people that have messaged us to say thank you, because they've gone out and they've just taken their camera and they've gone out and taken a couple of snaps of some of the things that they feel grateful for, and they've thought about the little comment they're going to put with it and submitted it and said that it really helped to uplift them for their day, in a sense. So, and that's what it's all about. We're not about being an incredible artist and all of that. If you are, then incredible, but it's more about connecting with your, taking something with your camera, something that you feel very grateful for, something that and submitting that, because the difference that does to others. Some of the pieces have had over sort of 400 views of people that have just gone on and obviously clicked and had a look through, and it's just beautiful to know that the piece of art that's been submitted, all those people are going on and having a look, and we're still only in early days, so there's another month left for people to enter. So
well, we'll come to that, but before we do, I just really want to highlight the work that you do with primary schools, because I think it's amazing. As a mum of two, you do work closely and get the children involved, and I think teaching them from a young age about the well-being angles, and what's available to them is so important, and it was never around when I was young. know, it wasn't talked about. So for me, I'm really passionate about this, and I know it's Children's Mental Health Week as well coming up. So this is a very important part of what you guys do.
Yes, definitely. It's something that we've always been really passionate about, to help to kind of educate and to provide, and so that the children are aware of lots of different things that they can try, simple little things that they can try themselves. Not necessarily that they might need it at that time, but just so they remember that, oh yes, of course. And what our idea around mental health is that oftentimes it can be quite serious, and it can be quite medical, and it can be quite... So what we do is we come in and we really have fun. So we're obviously musicians. We go in and we perform in sort of school assemblies. We sing with the children. We get a lot of interaction, and we get the kids to think about in different ways about, perhaps like this time will be the things we feel grateful for. We're going into Desford Primary School in Leicestershire next week, and they'll be creating a resource, their second resource for the whole of the school and the parents and staff to be able to download, and so we'll be doing a presentation about gratitude and singing, and then afterwards the children will go away. And within school time, they'll be creating, and they'll be looking at things, talking about the things that they're grateful for, maybe creating some poems, creating some art, and they'll submit all of those pieces in, and then we have a selection process, and some of the pieces get chosen. But the great thing is then the resource is then utilised by the teachers, and so different areas of maybe the little tips and the tools and things that the children can try can then be utilised, and that then they obviously get to use them back at home, and they get to use them. And it's kind of, we were very fortunate to be able to create an actual primary school yellow book down in Sawbridgeworth. We worked with 5 primary schools down there all together, providing the sessions for them, and then them creating and then personalising the book that was then funded by their council, so that then each child could take a book home and they could use it as a wellbeing textbook. And it's and that was really incredible. And that's what I really feel about this, is that the therapists that work with my company partner Claire, who runs the Centre of Wellbeing, they give kind of the tips and the tools that have been really beneficial to them, and work so well with their clients of all ages. And they then submit these in to the book, so that there's a really broad aspect, because not all of them will work for you, but when you find something that works for you, it can literally change your whole life for the better, as it's done for me, as it's done for so many people that I know. So it's so that's really what it's all about. But it's about connecting with the fun and connecting with the joy of our mental health, because we all have mental health.
Yes,
and mental health. Oftentimes people think it means illness, but it actually means health. It's health. There is no illness in there.
Do you know, a very good friend of mine once said to me, this idea that every day will be a good day is silly, because sometimes we're going to wake up and it's just going to be a meh day. Yeah. And there's maybe no particular reason for that, but that's normal. And that is part of, I don't think we do talk about that side of just normal mental health. That is, we don't feel great every day. We don't always have good days. We don't always handle days great. And so to have tools on standby for everyday life and looking after our mental health, like you say, because we only hear kind of the darker sort of versions of it.
Exactly.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful idea. I'm so glad that, it's so successful, that it's still running as well, which is wonderful.
It is lovely. We're only a small organisation, but we're just in the idea that if we can show these, that more of it can be embraced. And it's lovely that these tools are going out sort of across into not only primary schools and schools, but into universities and colleges and NHS and healthcare providers and things. And I think that is such the case, that we all have really challenging times, and to know that that's where the books can become quite supportive, because they can give you an uplifting feel. They can help you to connect and make you realise that you're not on your own. There's a lot of people out there that are, wanting to uplift and help others, but also it's about knowing that there's lots of places and organisations that you can call on if you do need the help, and knowing where they are, but also knowing that there's so much that you can try identify yourself, and that when you're feeling able and well enough, you can work on things, and it can absolutely transform your life.
It can, certainly, and this is helping to do that. So this year, the Yellow Book, the theme is gratitude. Pete, where can people find out more, especially if they'd like to submit?
Yeah, definitely. It's rethinkyourmind.co.uk. It's all online. It's very straightforward. As soon as you go there, you'll see buttons to click. It's just the sign up is extremely simple. It's open for all ages, and if you wanted to enter on behalf, it's the most simple sign up thing that we could have made up. It's really straightforward, and you have the opportunity as soon as you sign in. You'll be able to upload, I think it's two pieces of art, 2 photos, and up to 2 poems. So you could enter 6 pieces if you felt that inclined. But it's all, and then those pieces will just be sort of, we'll sort of just check those and vet them in a sense before, and then they'll all be live on the gallery, and then people come in and check them out and have a look at them. And it's all anonymous though. It's all anonymous online. So don't feel that you're, presenting. It's kind of, and it seems to be a really beautiful way for people to connect with it, because knowing that their piece is, obviously uplifting and helping others. And then obviously eventually later on in the project, some of the pieces will be selected for the book. It never was meant to be a competition at all, but it's just that we cannot print every single piece that comes in, so it's we have to make some selections.
Though? Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Oh, we love this. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And then sharing again. It's really lovely. And keep us updated as well. The lovely Pete Hurst there, founder of the Yellow Book. It is coming up to 10 minutes to midday. You're listening to BBC Radio Leicester.